Tonight on Sip and Chat with T. Lynn, listen, I have an amazing guest with me tonight. And baby, she has one question for you. How you doing? Really? Listen, this is an episode you do not want to miss, and you know somebody that you know needs to hear this. So go on, hit the subscribe button, click the bell, and be sure to share. And most importantly, join the conversation in the comments. It's Sip and Chat with T. Lynn, baby. Come on in and join the chat. Welcome to Sip and Chat with T. Lynn. Listen, how are you guys doing tonight? No, really, how are you doing? That's what we're talking about tonight. And I am honored to have with me one of my favorite people. She is a transformational coach and the founder of iSpark Transformation. It is none other than Miss Harriett Loney. Hi, Harriett.
I'm like jamming to that music. I love it.
Listen, ain't it a good way to start our chat? Like,
yes.
You in the mood, but let's have some little coffee house chat, something. Yes. So it is a sip and chat, baby. So what are you sipping on tonight?
I'm sipping on some sparkling water, dear.
Ooh, sparkling. Does it have flavor?
It doesn't have flavor. It doesn't have to have flavor because I've got flavor.
Oh, check you out. Yes. Well, you know me, I am drinking my nice tall cup of green tea. That is my thing. I always say, why in the world do I choose to drink green tea at night? Because as soon as I drink it, I'm like, the broadcast is over and my whole house is sleeping. I'm up at 2:00 in the morning. Like, why are you up? Oh, because you drank green tea for Sip and Chat. That's why.
Look, I was up late last night doing some work and I said, oh, I want some coffee. Why did I drink coffee? And normally coffee does not bother me. Like I can drink coffee and go to bed. No. Last night, however, no.
You bounced off, but that's because you were doing work. And so the coffee was like, oh, you need fuel. So it just took off. Listen, I'm excited to have you with me tonight. And I hope our viewers are just as excited as I am. As I tell you guys, it is a treat, okay, to have her. And you want to make sure that you go on and share. I'm giving you time to hit that share button to make sure that the folk that need to hear what we're talking about tonight gets to hear it, because I don't know them. Harriett doesn't know them, but guess who knows them, baby? You do. And the only way they're going to get that information, get this information, is if you share it. So go on and share it, right? I'm giving you time. Because tonight we are talking about something so important. And that is, how are you doing? Really? You know, it's funny, Harriett, because I had a conversation. You know, Clubhouse is the new happening thing and where everybody is talking. And I went into a room earlier and I was talking about just that, because they were talking about me being a holistic coach and, you know, what does wholeness really mean? Let's talk about that. And I'm giving them the breakdown. And their question to me was, they're business coaches. And so their question to me was, what happens when you have a client like in their lane as a business coach, and they have a client that comes in and they're like, hey, how are you doing? And the person's like, I'm really struggling through some mental health things today. What do you do with that? And I had to break down to them. I said, you know, the most interesting thing is that we are often taught to start our greetings to people with, hi, how are you? In passing, you can, a perfectly good stranger, you're passing them on your way to the elevator and you're saying, your greeting is, hi, how are you? And you're not always ready for that person to come back, because most people are like, I'm fine. Thank you. Whether they are or not, they're going to tell you they're fine. And they're like, well, what happens when they tell me they're not fine? Oh, well, you opened the door. So now as a coach, continue the conversation. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Is there anything I can do to help you? And then allow them to elaborate, and then refer them on if you need to. Don't take ownership. Don't try to diagnose them. Be an ear, because sometimes people just need an ear. But going back to all of that, like backtracking just a tad bit. With Harriett, we have worked on many different things together. And one of my most memorable conversations with her was when we sat down and we were planning for an event. It was a women's event at the time. And we were talking about topics. And that was the topic that Harriett brought up, was talking to people about how are you doing, and really really meaning it. And when the person says, I'm fine, digging deeper and saying, no, really, how are you? It was one of the most memorable things. And I said, entitling this episode, I felt like it was so appropriate, because I feel like that is what you do, and what has, hold on, let me do the little ting. What sparked the transformation in you was like checking in with yourself on how you were really doing. So before we get into the big conversation, tell everyone a little bit about yourself so they can understand the history and where all this is going.
So let's go. How far back do we want to go? So I was born in Panama, Central America, moved to, New York, the melting pot, with my single mother at the time. Yeah. And then, and her trying to make a life for the two of us, we stayed in New York for a little bit and moved on to California. And California became home, Oakland, California. From Oakland, California, I joined the military. My mom was a single mom. She couldn't afford for me to go to school or go to college. So I said, I was in ROTC in high school, decided to go ahead and join the Air Force. So I joined the Air Force and had many things happen along the way throughout that Air Force experience. Over 20 years, I retired, and I continue to work for the federal government now. So 30 years, been able to serve people, learn great skills, travel the world, because I've been to some amazing countries, as I am in the United Kingdom now.
I was about to say, you're not even in the US, like you're overseas now. So
right.
Still traveling, right? Still
yes.
Amazing places.
I love to travel. I love culture. And I love people. So people from all walks of life. I love learning new things. I am a life learner. And so we have, married for 30 years. This was our anniversary actually this month. And
wow,
we have
anniversary.
Thank you. We have two beautiful girls, 21 and 26. And they are just amazing young ladies doing their thing. And I have, along the way, they have been interested and really active with sports. So I've been like team mom and really embracing and loving on girls for a long time. And that's where I find myself now, really wanting to give back to young ladies, wanting to give back to, teenagers, whether they're college students, just giving back and asking that question, really, how are you doing? How are you doing, really? Because many times, as you said, we say it in passing. Do we really care? Do we really care to take the time to listen?
Yeah.
As you said, if somebody really says, I'm hurting, or I've got an issue, or something's going on, something's wrong, do we really take the time to find out what that thing is? And like you said, don't take it on. We can't take on the world. We can't take on everything. No. Though we've got some strong shoulders now, we can't take on everything, right? But there are places that we can, connect people to and make sure that they get the help that they really need. So that's the thing that I am really spending time in now. And as God began to develop that in me, the love for sharing with people in general, but right now I have a passion for young girls. I really do. So I'm trying to get into the schools and into the communities and the churches and just kind of love on them. I've seen so much. So I can take you in so many different places right now. I don't even know where you want me to go.
That's okay. We're gonna go on and we got time. So we're gonna drive on in to different neighborhoods that we need to go. But one thing that where I think we're gonna land is that passion for young girls, their mental health, and their success in life. I'm very passionate about that my own self. For years, I have mentored young women. I think I've been mentoring. No, I don't even think. I know. Let me go back. I know. I've been working as a mentor since I was like 16, 17 years old. It's what I started doing. I was a peer mentor in school. And then I went on to being an outreach counselor for at-risk youth shortly after. But my passion has always been for young women, just being able to embrace the value of themselves, because I feel like so many things in life, and it's nothing towards men. Like men, you have your set of things, and there are people that are there to help coach you along the way and help you along the way. But I feel like sometimes our young girls get overlooked, whether it's intentional or unintentional. Their needs, their need of validation and self-validation is often overlooked, and they are brought up in a society that I feel tells them who they are instead of allowing them to discover who they authentically are and what they're authentically purposed to do. They're automatically put into a box. Because we were young girls at one time too, but even as women, we're automatically put into boxes in most cases, and it's time to step out the box. Like one of my favorite sayings is, I am not designed to be put in your box. That's not what I was designed for. As a matter of fact, one of my earlier memories of me hearing an audible voice that I say is God's voice was, you were not designed to be put in the box. That's one of the things I remember audibly hearing in my ear. It wasn't nobody in the room but me, but it was so meaningful. And I think that is the part that we're missing. So I love that you are passionate about young women, because today they're put in a box. And if you're not careful, they're going to think that's the box of who they are, but it's really not. And it'll take them until they get into their 30s and 40s to realize that box is not designed for them. But why not help them earlier so they don't have to, they can get free a lot sooner.
Yes.
So I love that.
And that is because I remember where I came from.
Yeah.
We remember where we came from, right? And so now that we're older, it's like if we had somebody in our corner to either mentor us or coach us or guide us in the right direction. I'm not going to say that I didn't, because certainly my grandmother, certainly my mother, they were amazing women in my life. Yeah. I had amazing pastors, Dr. Claudette Copeland. I will never forget the impact, and I still keep in contact with her today, the impact that she has had in my life. The impact or I'm still connected to her anyway, the impact that so many women, whether they know it or not. And that's the other thing. People are looking at us and we don't even know who's looking at us, right?
Girl, come on now.
Whether they know it or not, have impacted my life, and some great people who I'm connected to now. And because of the experiences that I've had, even growing up, had some rough spots.
Yes.
But that did not determine who I have become.
Yeah.
And so that's what I want to encourage them with. That's what I want to inspire them with. That's what I want to share with them. Even though you've got to go through some rough stuff along the way, that does not define who you will become.
No, it's just what you went through.
Come on. Who does God say you are?
Yeah.
Who does God say you are? What's your purpose? What was the reason why he created you? Because you've got a purpose. We've all got purpose. Yeah.
And
so, I mean,
I right in that. And I was going to say, like, even with our moms, I appreciate you going back and say that, because I said it all the time. My mom wasn't a bad mom at all. My mom loved me, but our parents in that time, in that moment, our parents did the best they could with what they knew how at that time. And some of our parents, if we just be honest, I don't know about yours, but I know some of our parents, they went through things that they weren't able to fully process either. You know what I mean? And so it's not that, but we got to give our parents grace sometimes, because you got to look at what their story was and what they went through and what they held on to, because it's been that gift that keeps giving, baby. The gift that keeps giving is, I do what I was taught how to do. And if I was taught to keep my mouth shut about different things and not to speak up about this, that, and the other, then that's what we do. Right? We continue that on, and we teach our children to do that. But that's not how you get free. You get free by being able to look at that thing and say, this is what I'm going through, and meeting it head on and walking through it. Like working through it, but they didn't know how to do that at that time. So what they did for us is they gave us the tools they had. And there's nothing wrong with that. They gave us the tools we had, but every generation should be better than the last.
Absolutely. We have the opportunity to take those tools and build upon those tools, right? Add to that toolbox. And if you're consistently learning, you're consistently adding to that toolbox. So when you grow older, and as you continue to grow, you're building on those foundational principles that our parents taught us. There were some things that they couldn't talk about. However, nowadays, there's some things that I absolutely will talk about. Right. Maybe back then wasn't so easy to do, you know.
Now,
so
it's like we gotta now you know you have a voice. Now you know it's okay to speak up. And it's like, no, the way come back here. No, we're not doing that. That's not what we're gonna do.
And that's the thing. Some of us know we have a voice, but what about the ones that still don't think they have a voice? Those are the ones who I want. Those are the ones who I want to tap into, the ones that still don't think that they have a voice, and teach them how. What does it look like to speak up? What does it look like? Like, what do you have on the inside of you that's all tied up in there that we need to help release and get out? Because, you know, as one of my mentors say, Les Brown, there's greatness inside of you. There's greatness in every one of us. Every one of us has greatness inside of us. And so the world needs coaches like us to spend time with people and dig into, unpeel that onion and dig into the root of some of the things that we've covered up for so many years.
And understand. And I was going to say, and understand, for those of you all that are watching, I always say this whenever we're on here and we're talking about healing, I got to go get it. That onion analogy you just gave, Harriet, is perfect, because when you're going through things, you got to remember every experience is on top of the next experience, on top of the next experience, and on top of the next. So it kind of gets buried. And even though you may be doing great on the top level, at some point, that lower level that's underneath, it's going to shift and it's going to start coming up to the surface. And when you start doing healing work, and when I say healing, I'm talking about when you start going back, looking at and addressing the things that you have been through, the traumas that you have been through, the hurts, the disappointments, those things that have been piling up over time. It takes time to peel back each layer to deal with it, because each layer has its things that need to be unpacked, debunked, and dealt with. Don't be upset if you feel like And first of all, let me say, I have been here. That's why I'm telling you this. Don't be upset with yourself and feel like I should be over this by now. That happened when I was a kid. This should no longer be bothering me out of frustration. No, it's bothering you, baby, because you didn't deal with it when you were a child. And then when you got to your adolescence, you still didn't deal with it. And then when you became a young adult, you didn't deal with it. So you're going to have to go back and deal with it. And that's okay. Healing is a day-by-day, step-by-step journey and process. It's a journey.
Yeah.
It does not always happen overnight.
It takes work.
It takes
work. And that's what we do, right? We sit alongside of you to help you work through that. Like, you don't have to go through that journey alone. It doesn't have to be because there's so many things that you're dealing with mentally. There's so many things that you're dealing with emotionally. And so when you begin to really tap into that thing, it's really important to know that you have somebody who cares enough about you to hang in there with you. And that's what I do. I'm a champion. I'm a champion for the young people that I'm with, that I talk to. I'm a champion for them. And if there's something that I can't do as a coach and they need something greater, then I've been taught how to forward you, to allow you to go to another professional. I'm connected to professionals that I can either refer you to or let you know what else. So I can't help you with that. I can help you with this. But in order to get through this portion of it, you might need to go to this other professional that can help you with that better. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I even encourage some of the people that I coach, some of the adults that I've coached. I have more than one coach. I have a business coach. I have a personal coach. You know, we have different coaches.
You need to. I was about to say, you need to. Listen, there's two key things that you've said here. One, the coach needs a coach, right? Just because you're a coach, or just because I'm a coach, that I'm not perfect, baby. I'm still living life, and life is still happening to me as I go forward. I'm helping you with the things I've already come through, and sometimes I'm helping you with the things I'm still going through. Because listen, sometimes I'm helping you with the things I'm already going through, because that means I'm just your partner on that level, right?
Come on.
I'm your partner on that level. But there are 3 people that you need to have in your life at all times. I'm going to pause and say this. 3 people you need to have in your life at all times. You need to have someone that's mentoring you, somebody that's coaching you, that's helping you, somebody that's here above you a little bit, that can help you and pull you up, help you get your strength as you pull yourself up to where you need to be, right? So you got to have that mentor, that coach that's helping you. The second person you need to have is what I call the partnership level. That's the person that's walking through. It's the person that's on your level and walking through the things with you, walking through life with you. Doesn't necessarily have to be a significant other. It's great if it is, but you got to have that person that's walking through, that's partnering with you, that you can talk to and bounce ideas off of, and, you know, share the frustrations and can sharing that with you. They understand because they're walking through it with you. And the third one is most important. The third one is the person that you are mentoring, the person that you are giving a hand to and helping them to be pulled up and come to where they are. You're not doing it for them, but you're giving them a hand to help them. Help and doing for is 2 different things. I'm not going to talk about that. That's not what I'm here for right now. You got to have somebody that you're helping and you're mentoring to bring up. Those are 3 people you have to have. No, that's the position. When you're in that position where you have those 3 people, you are doing your job. You are doing your job. So I like that. I like what you were saying. Like, no, the coach needs a coach. That's why I go back to that. The coach needs a coach. Like, and when it gets to the point where you cannot handle what's on the level with your partner, then yes, refer them to where they need to be. It's nothing wrong with professional help. They are there for a reason. They have been gifted with that for a reason. And it does not mean that it's something astronomically wrong with you. It just means you need somebody to talk to on a more professional level, and that is okay.
I have found that there are some times in my life where I've had to pivot. I've had to shift some things because my mindset was not in a healthy place.
Come on.
Things that had happened to me.
Come on.
And I'll go ahead and go there and be transparent. It was some sexual abuse. And that messed with my mind. And this was before I even joined the military. This was before I even got married. And it really, if you don't already know, it really affects you, and it affects the people around you. And if you think that you can cover it up and go through it, that's only going to last for a minute. That's only going to last for a minute. And then, like you said, those things that were covered under, that onion, those things begin to surface, and you notice your behavior changes. When your behavior begins to change, that's the thing that you need to take note of and try to gain some clarity around and figure out what's really going on here. Why is my behavior changing? Why am I snapping? Why am I acting like this towards this person or like this towards that person? And you really need to sit down and talk to somebody. When the crazy thing about what we do, we keep moving. We keep moving. We keep going. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to go over here. I got to work. I got this hustle. I got that hustle. And I'm doing this. And I'm going here, but you're not making time to commit to what's going on really on the inside of you.
Listen, right there. I'm going to put a pin right there real quick, because can you imagine with what you just said? We on the hustle. We constantly keep moving because that keeps us distracted. It's our numbing medication. It numbs us from having to deal with stuff. Can you imagine how many people went into this pandemic on the hustle and on the move to be able to not have to think about, deal with, confront the things they have been going through at home and within their own personal self. And then the pandemic comes and everything gets shut down and you are left with the thing you've been running from.
Yeah. And then what? And so it was God that showed me that I had not dealt with that issue in my life. It could have been worse, but I thank God. I thank God for my life. I thank God that nothing worse happened. Yeah. And so how do you come back from that? It was nobody but God for me. And my relationship with God is, as my relationship grew with God, God began to let me know that, no, you haven't dealt with that thing. And so I start dealing with that. And that was just me and God. And then he referred me to somebody else that I could go talk to about the situation. And again, there's nothing wrong with having, going to see a counselor. There's nothing wrong with going to see somebody that's going to help you develop and be better in terms of your mental health. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why they are there. That's why they are there. Again, I love that wholeness coaching, wellness coaching. I love that because it's the whole person that needs to be healed. It's the whole person. And it starts here. It starts here.
I say that all the time. Well, y'all know I'm a wholeness coach. That's what I do. I tell y'all that every week. And if you follow me, you know that's what I do. I talk about wholeness and authenticity and healing. But Harriett, that's exactly what I tell people. Wholeness is important because you cannot address your physical health. It doesn't matter how many times you go run a mile, right? You can go run a mile a day or more if you want to. You can eat all the right things if you want to. But baby, if you don't have your mental health, your emotional health, and your spiritual health in order, none of that is going to matter because it's going to catch up with you. And when it catches up with you, it's better that you stop and deal with it when you realize you need to deal with it. Because if it catches up with you, it's going to be way worse to deal with at that time than had you just stopped and said, this is what I need to deal with. Let me get the help I need.
Right. I as we're talking about, the mind and our thoughts, one thing that comes to mind that I always share, I love Dr. Caroline Leaf. I love her work. She's a neuroscientist and a cognitive neuroscientist. So she deals a lot with the mind and thinking and the brain. And what I like how she says here in her book, what is this book? Thinking and Learning to Succeed. She says, the way you think through the mindsets you adopt will influence the neural correlations in your brain, right? And then the types of words and actions and things that we do on a daily basis, that determines our mindset. The words that we use, the actions or behaviors that we demonstrate, all of that determines our mindset. And there's a feedback loop that can be changed at any time. So if we ever find ourselves going down a negative path in our thoughts and the things that we see going on around us, we can decide, because we have choice. We can decide to change it. It doesn't need to go that way. And so that thing, I don't know when it was that, as I was, studying to become a coach and an international coach, I am credentialed with the International Coach Federation. As I was studying more and more about coaching, started looking into our thoughts. And of course, what the scripture says about thoughts and all of that. But it just baffles me that we don't realize how important it is, the things that we think about. And that we don't realize that we can change those thoughts. Those thoughts don't have to continue down a negative path. We can change the way we think. We can change the way we see things. We can change the way we think about things, which will in turn change our action. It will change our actions. It will change our behavior. Come on, and change our attitude.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you exactly what that is. Okay, so we all were taught, most of us was taught, especially in science, for every action, there's a reaction. And every action is preceded by a thought. Let me tell you why affirmations are fantastic. I know there are a lot of you guys out there that may be watching this like affirmations. I don't like affirmations, all that positive, thinking that's not going to be what makes this happen. Yes, it is. Listen, it's not about you just telling yourself a lie. The affirmation is not you telling yourself a lie. The affirmation is you training your brain to think that I am a survivor. I am a successful person. Whatever your I am is, you're speaking that into you so that your mindset will begin to hang on to, wait a minute, I am a conqueror. I am courageous. I am loved. Whatever it is that you're telling yourself that because every action is preceded by a thought. So if you can train your thoughts to be the thing that you are believing yourself to be, or the thing that you want to manifest, if every action is preceded by a thought, what do you think is going to happen when you start your thinking pattern to be just that? You're going to start aligning your actions to what you are now thinking on continuously. It's called the law of attraction.
Yes, it is.
The law of attraction, and no matter how many ways you try to run for that, honey, it is a real law, and it does happen. And whatever you tell yourself, at some point you're talking to yourself about something, and that's what's manifesting in your life. So there's no way of getting around it. Affirmations is simply affirming what you are telling your mind and training your mind to believe, so that you will then begin to walk out and live out that thing in actions.
Let me tell you, if you continue down the road, so let me give you two, and I got this actually from Dr. Caroline Leaf. If you think about what your brain looks like when you have constant negative thoughts, it's almost like what the trees look like when there are no leaves. When there are no leaves no branches on the tree. Whoa. That's what your brain looks like when there is negativity, consistent negativity. You're going down that deep, dark path. That's what it looks like. But if you can picture and imagine a beautiful tree, beautiful green tree, or I love the autumn. I love the colorful leaves and all of that, but the tree is still full. Yes. Fully, full tree with leaves. Yes. Fully dressed. Yes. That's what your brain looks like when there is positivity consistently. Your thoughts are positive. Which one would you prefer?
Oh, I want the fully dressed. I don't want a naked tree now.
Absolutely.
I don't want a tree. I want a fully dressed tree. Yes.
Absolutely.
Look,
Absolutely.
nobody wants to be standing in, even though they imagine the audience naked, most speakers, that's what they say, imagine your audience naked, right? I don't want to be naked. I don't want to be naked, the naked tree. I want to be a fully bloomed tree. I want to have some fruit on my branches.
Right. Absolutely. So that's the difference. And I really want my thoughts to be, and we know everything's not perfect, everything's not right, everything's not good, but it's really your perception about it. How are you going to perceive? Like, are you going to, for me, my mantra is let's get to yes. There has got to be a way that we can get to yes. I don't know how, I don't know what that looks like. It might not initially be positive for me, but how can we get to yes? And for us that are believers, I mean, we know everything works together for our good. Sometimes there are things that we have to go through to get to the good, but it's still getting to the good. It's still getting to the good, So I'm grateful. I can tell you there's so many negative things that have happened through COVID, but there's so many positive things as well that have come through, COVID and us being locked down and us having to, even though I don't know, United States didn't really lock down like we locked down over here. Like we couldn't go out of our house. The only places we could go to were to the grocery store or to the hospital. That is really
no. My area, the DMV locked down like that. The DMV area, they did lock down like that. Only thing we could do was go to, if you were an essential employee, you had to go to work. You could go to work. You could go to the grocery store. You could go get your meds and stuff. But outside of that, keep your hind parts at home. That's how they did it.
Exactly. And so through that, I was just going to say, I was able to collaborate with some other women and write this, I Am Worthy. So it's a collaboration. And I'm so grateful because I had to sit down and really think through, yes, I am worthy, God. I know I am. And so what can I share in this to encourage some other young women? What can I share in this to encourage some older women? I am worthy. You are worthy. You are worthy. And you've got you've got a story to tell. You've got experiences to share with other people because there's other people coming up behind us that need to know, how did you make it? How did you make it? How did you do it, baby? You can make it. You can make it.
What did I say? That's that third person that you need to be helping up, giving that helping hand. Listen, this has been a phenomenal chat tonight. Oh my gosh. For those of you that are watching, if you have enjoyed having Harriett with us, you know what to do. Go and put that hand clap in the comments so that she can feel the love. Bring them hand claps in so she can feel the love. Listen, I so appreciate you joining me tonight. As always, I always say the conversation gets good and then time starts flying by, right? We are out of time, but not out of words. So before we go, what is one nugget of wisdom that you would like to leave with our viewers tonight?
I would just like to say that in every situation, you have to consider your mind over the matter.
Yeah.
What's going on with you in that situation? Take the emotion out of it. Where are you trying to get to? And there's somebody here to help you get from where you are to where you really need to go, or where you really desire to go, or where you know your purpose is. Everybody has purpose and destiny. Where's yours?
I think she dropped the mic on that one. Everybody has purpose. Where's yours? Listen. Amazing word of nugget of wisdom to leave. Listen, an amazing conversation tonight. I have enjoyed it. If you guys want to connect with my sister, Harriett Loney, please check her out. She's on IG. Her IG name is there. You can go check her out at iSpark Transformation _Harriett. You can go on over to her website if you want to connect with her and find out about working with her. You can do that over at iSparktransformation.com. And with her permission, if you want to reach out by email, you can do that too by simply emailing her at isparktransformation@gmail.com. Listen, lots of words of wisdom. I commend you. I love you. I so appreciate the work that you are doing in the community. I'm so humbled and grateful for you joining me in the Sip and Chat room tonight, Harriett. You have laid it down and gave me great conversation in return. So thank you for that. For those of you that are watching, this is our season finale, but there are so many other great episodes that you can go back and check out. We got many of them, guys. So if you've missed any of them, this is your chance to go back, catch up on all the great guests we've had over this past season and the season before, and get those nuggets of wisdom, that encouragement that's going to help you keep pressing forward in your journey to wholeness, healing, and authenticity. I love you guys. I'm so excited. We have some amazing people. Yes, already I can tell you we have some amazing people joining us next season. Make sure you stay tapped in with us. As you can see, my doggies, they're saying it too. Make sure you stay tapped in with us and connected over this break. Yes, but we love you. We thank you and we appreciate you. I am Lynn Tate.
Love you.
Remember, today is a great day to make a difference in the lives of those around you. I love you too, Harriett, and I love you guys, my viewers. Be safe. Have a wonderful break. Check out the rest. I'm Lynn Tate, and this has been Sip and Chat with Lynn. See you guys next season. Love you. Bye.
Bye.